Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Tony Simona Show. I'm Tony T here with you here every day, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, delivering live free picks today from the major sports. And, of course, today we'll have picks from the NBA, the Final Four from college basketball, Major League Baseball, hockey, of course, that Saturday card. Of course, we'll have our Parlay Peripheral Show at the end of the segment, so make sure you check us out. Like, subscribe, set notifications so you get notified when we're live on our show. And, of course, more importantly, give us that like, that thumbs up. You really help us build up our audience, so we really appreciate that. Let's say hello to Rod. Rod, what's happening?
Yeah, not too much, Tony. Tough day for me on the diamond. Didn't go so well. I believe I went 0-3 there on that one. I got burnt by that Seattle pitcher change was one of them. But definitely, actually, I went 1-2 on the diamond. Tough day there. Seattle got me with the big old pitcher change. Add that to the first crazy pitcher change of the year. I'm sure we'll that won't be the last because we know that it'll happen probably at least a couple more times in the season. But hey, I hit my top play on the ice in the NHL with Detroit. That was a good one. Some historic stuff happened last night too in sports. You look at Judge hit his home run. 321? So he tied Babe Ruth. First 321 home runs in the first 1,000 games as a Yankee. So same thing Ruth did. First 1,000 games as a Yankee, 321 home runs. It's like, that's historic record. And then, of course, we had Alex Ovechkin, as I said at the end of the show yesterday. That close. He got two. He sure tried. He tied Gretzky. So you now have Gretzky and Ovi tied together as the goal-scoring leader in the NHL. The next game Sunday, I think he busted up Sunday. And solo, it'll be Alex Ovechkin being the goal-scoring leader in the NHL. So close for us getting that hat trick. Definitely worth a shot. At bet I would make it again. So.
Absolutely. That's right.
And it's Final Four day today, so I can't complain. I love the college basketball. It's been treating me all season long. I'm excited for the Final Four. It's like a kid at Christmas. I can't wait. It's kind of bittersweet because it's going to see it go and disappear that quick. But some great games today.
Absolutely. Great games. They look for a bounce back for me as well today. Got a lot on the board today, college basketball, baseball. That 15-game card from baseball, I like it today. So let's get underway here with the show. We'll start here with the NBA. We're running out of days here. The last day of the NBA regular season is a week from Sunday. So get close here. So we'll start 3 on this block. Knicks and Hawks. Knicks 4-point favorite on the road, total 237. Timberwolves and Sixers. We got the T-Wolves on the road, 16, total 225. Grizzlies and the Detroit Pistons here. Grizzlies now up to 2 on the road, total 240.5. Let's take a look at the injuries here on the Knicks side. It's Hukporti, McBride out. Robinson, Payne, Brunson questionable for the Knicks. On the Atlanta side, Capella, Toppin are out. Young, probable. Memphis, Detroit, Poulin, Williams are out. On the Detroit side, Ivy out. Cunningham, Harris are both questionable there. So we got you covered the injuries there. We'll start. One more game here is Memphis, right? The Memphis game. Let's see what we got here. We covered.
You just covered that Memphis. I was out.
I was missing. Minnesota, Philly, right? Minnesota, Philly. Yeah. Shannon out for Minnie. Lowry, Oubre, and Drummond out for Philadelphia. We know Maxi's out for the season. No longer will show up on these reports. We go over to Rod.
Yeah, and you look at these games here. It's even in the second half of a back-to-back here, I don't know if I trust Memphis. They just completely fallen off the board type of thing. 3-7 straight up, 2-8 against the number. Detroit here with the back-to-back playing the better basketball. But it is the second half of back-to-back. The Pistons did get that cover on Friday. But in the second half of back-to-back, how do they fare in those second halves of the back-to-back? You look, 4-5, 5-4 against that number. You know what? They're not horrible in the back-to-back spot. 3-game, 4-night situation for Detroit as well. 7-5 straight up. I like the over in that one. I think we see plenty of points. 240. That's why it's at 240. Give me the over 240 there in that one. We'll see some G Leaguers for Detroit today for sure in that game. And then Minnesota in 16. I think you just got to do it. It's one of those big ones. I'm definitely not rushing to the window with the NBA, but today. But you got to look 16 in the Timberwolves. Do the over again. I think the 76ers and the G Leaguers 225 is just too low there in that one. I think I got to take a couple overs. Man, this NBA is tough, man.
It's tough here.
Tough. this time of year. Yeah, see, smash Minnesota. That's what I would have to lean to, smash Minnesota, because the guys on the 76ers, but I'm not getting burnt by a sitting winner with a 16, and they put the foot off the gas like they always do at 12. It's just give me the over.
That's probably the number there to keep you from betting it, right? 16
of
to
course
16,
it is.
15 to 17, right?
16, 17, they put it in there. You're like,
well, you have to sweat that Jazz game until the final 5 minutes, right? Because the Jazz were close and they said all their starters are still close, and then Indiana pulled away late in the game there. So that was a sweat if you laid it with Indiana yesterday. So it's not easy laying those big numbers, man. It's a sweat throughout the entire game. One I look here at New York, Atlanta. I like the over in this one. Hawks 4-0 to the over at home when they have 2 days of rest. So 2 rest days, they get those legs charged up, ready out there and run that fast pace. So you get their maximum output offensively when they have this 2 days of rest. So I like the over in that one. I'm going to take the Grizzlies. I just think here the Pistons just clinched the playoff spot, and I think there could be a little bit of a letdown here in this spot after clinching. They are 3 games back of Indiana for the 4 seed, but only 5 games remaining. So likely they're going to be a 5 or 6 seed, which I don't think really matters much when you look at the overall scheme of things. So I could definitely look for a letdown in this spot. Memphis is tied in loss column with Minnesota and the Clippers for that 6th seed with 5 games remaining. Very meaningful game here for a team that's dying. This Memphis team seems to be dying on us, but I think this is one spot where they can catch Detroit at the right time here, just after clinching a playoff, not a play-in. They're not in the play-in. They're going to be in the playoffs. So that was a clincher yesterday. So I'll look at them in that spot. I'm not comfortable laying that many points here with Minnesota at all. At all. No, thank you there. All right. Let's see what else did I have there. Okay, yep, got you through 2 of the 3 there. All right, let's continue here on the 26th morning show. I'm not even even the overs, the Phillies overs. I'm afraid that their offense may have petered out a little bit as well. So that's what.
And even the G Leaguers don't care anymore.
Yeah, the G Leaguers have already got hit a wall. You know. All right, Bucks and Heat here. We got this one here. The Heat here laying at 1, total 214. Mavericks and Clippers still 8.5, total 221.5. I thought this would come down a little bit. That one surprised me a little bit. Milwaukee, Miami. We got Lillard, Portis, Sims out for Milwaukee. Giannis and Green are both probable for Miami. Jovic, Love, Wiggins out. Harrow, Highsmith questionable. Clippers and the Dallas Mavericks. Interesting game here. Looks like Exum is still out. Klay Thompson, Lively, Davis questionable. Hardy is probable. On the Clippers side, so far, we've got Coffey and Lundy out. Miller questionable. Simmons probable. Now I'm seeing a problem next to Kawhi. I doubt that he plays, to be honest with you. I mean, Leonard returned to action after sitting once in a back-to-back. Let's see. Yeah, that's he doesn't play back-to-backs. And the problem here with the Clippers, here's the issue with the Clippers here, is the Clippers right now are in that battle to make the 6th seed to get out of the play-in round. But the problem is in the next the rest of the season, they have 2 back-to-back spots still. So you're looking at probably Kawhi having to sit out 2 games in their final. What do we got here? The Clippers have 5 games left. So there's a potential that Kawhi could sit 2 of those games because they're both back-to-back situations, because the Clippers have a back-to-back next week. So Kawhi doesn't play back-to-backs, and you freaking need him now because you're going to probably hit the play-in round if you lose those 2 games, right? So I mean, I don't see him playing back-to-backs. I think they'd rather have him in the playoffs and getting home court in that 7-8 is no gimme because they're tied with Memphis. Memphis is the 8th seed, and they're both tied in the loss column. And Memphis has got well, I'm saying Memphis. Memphis looks like a dying team. But Han is confident the Clippers can win and cover even if Kawhi sits. But again, you might have Dallas's big guys back in like Davis and company coming back. And you got to cover the 8.5 here. So we'll go with a rock.
That's why that line is sitting where it was, right? It's that tells me that Anthony Davis will play this one. He didn't play yesterday, so he'll definitely. He was close, so if he was that close, I think he pops in there for this game here in this one. So that leads me to we've seen the under yesterday. Even the books have adjusted down a few points. I think we go right back to the under. especially with no Kawhi going. I'm going to take the under, especially with Davis going in there. Then you'll see the uptick in defense from Dallas because Anthony Davis definitely can play some solid defense. So, yeah, give me the under in that one. And then looking at the Bucks and Heat, man, the Heat have been hot, right? So, and now you're only it's a 1.5 point there. They have been rolling along. Bucks have actually dominated them. What are the 4 straight wins for the Bucks over the Heat? I'm gonna take the Heat in the first half. They've been rolling along. I believe it's 9 straight in the first half for actually 10 straight for the Heat in the first half. I think they can go to the locker room with a lead. So give me the Heat on the money line in that first half.
There from Roder. I say what I think here about these games here. Miami right now is 2 games back of Orlando and Atlanta to get in that 7 versus 8 game. They can be no better. Matter of fact, Orlando, Chicago, and Miami have all clinched play-in berths. That's where they're going to be, and Atlanta probably will be in that spot pretty soon. So I think we're going to know who our play-in teams are in that Eastern Conference pretty soon, and who our playoff teams are in that Eastern Conference. All that's going to be mattered now is seeding. But I think this is important enough for Miami to try to get out of that. First off, to try to get home court in that 9-10 and try to get in that 7-8 game because life is so much easier in that 7-8. So I think it's worth Miami to push hard here. I'll take them here. The way they've been playing has been impressive here. I'll take them plus the points. The Bucks will likely be a 5 or a 6 seed. They are right now 3 games back of Indiana for the 4, and the Bucks have only 6 games remaining. So again, I don't think the Bucks have a good chance of catching the Pacers here. So I just think motivational factors here. I just look at the Miami there. That spot. Again, I don't know if the Clippers are going to be in the mood to win by 8.5 or more in this game, especially with Davis playing and his defensive presence that he brings on the court. As far as we know, the Clippers situation, this is almost must-win situation to stay out of that play-in game. They're going to be in the 8. They can be no worse than the 8. So they're no worse than the 7-8 game, but you don't want to be in the 8 game because they'll be at the road team. But that's how it sits because we know it's going to be either Dallas, Sacramento, Phoenix, and Portland's a long shot here to make the 9-10 game. Those are the 4 teams that'll be in the 2 of those 4 will be in the 9-10. Right now, Dallas, all they're playing for is really a playoff spot. And to get the home court in the 9-10, which I said, the owners are casino, they're bean counters. They want that home gate for that 9-10 game. I know there'll be pressure on them to try to get there. So I'll take Dallas plus the points. All right, let's continue here on the 26 Morning Show. As we continue here with the college basketball, we'll turn our attention to college hoops. We've got 4 on the board today. And we've got, of course, that Crown Series. And not everybody can bet it. We know that, but some people can. So we cover it. So I will look at the games here today. The Vegas games will be Nebraska, Boise. Boise, 2.5, total 155. UCF and Villanova. Villanova, 3.5, total 156.5. Florida and Auburn. Here we go. Final 4. Florida here, 2.5, total 159.5. Houston and Duke, your late game tonight. Duke 5, total 136.5. Over to Rod.
Couple I'm looking at in this spot, and the one that jumps out to me that I'm looking at here is that Boise only laying 2.5. It just seems a little bit funky to me that why is only Boise laying 2.5? They're the better team there in that one. It's not even close. It's not even I think Boise should be a 6. At least a 5.5, 6 point favorite there in that one. The way they've been rolling teams and just playing the better basketball. They know how to play some defense. They can definitely score. Why is it only 2.5? It really makes me want to take Nebraska for the upset. It really does. I don't know, man. I really am. That one I'm torn because that line looks really funky and it's been at 2.5 for days. Days at 2.5. Hasn't moved. And I figured we'd see some money come in on Boise, and I think we have seen some money come in on Boise, and it's still stuck there. I'm going to take Nebraska. Give me Nebraska on the money line here. Yep, give me Nebraska on the money line here in that matchup. I think they outright Boise and upset them there in that one. And then the other one I'm looking at is can we look at the Houston and Duke game? You look at Houston, they've been down in them first halves more than they've been up. They're like the Michigan State. The first halves haven't been good in games, and then they need to make adjustments at the half. But Duke, you look at Duke, they've definitely been up 7-3 on these neutral courts as Duke in them first halves, and only have to lay 3. Yep, Give me the Duke Blue Devils -3 in the first half in that matchup.
There from Rod here. I'll tell you what I think about these games. I'm gonna look at the Boise State side of this just based on their shooting. The defense has been really bad for their Cornhuskers. Look at their past 5 games, give a 48% shooting. I look at Boise in that spot. I like Villanova. Their lines have been kind of funky as well, but they got past USC. I like the defense they played against USC. It was hard to hold the USC to that point total. I respect them there. Also, look at Villanova. They picked up wins against Xavier, UConn, St. John's, Cincinnati. I respect their profile more here, so I'll look at Villanova in that spot. I'll look at Florida here, laying it in this spot. Interesting with Florida here. If they fell behind by 10 in that game against Auburn in their first meeting, then they outscored Auburn by 31 points from the 14-minute mark of the first half all the way to the 14-minute mark of the second half. So they took a 10-point deficit and built a 21-point lead. That's pretty impressive for me. I'll look at Florida in that spot. And I got to take the points with this Houston defense. And, they're a very mature team. They stay there. That win against Tennessee was very impressive there. So I'll look at taking the plus there. All right, let's continue here on the 26 More Shows. We turn our attention over to this 15-game card from Major League Baseball today. Cover them in the 3 blocks. So we'll start with White Sox and Tigers. We see the Tigers, big favorites, 229, total 7.5. Astros and Twins. The Twins, $1.20, total 7.5. Padres and Cubs $1.13, total of 7. Dodgers and Phillies again. We got the Phillies $6, total 8.5. And in Game 5 of this first block, D-backs and Nationals, we got the Diamondbacks $1.28, total of 9. Back to Rod.
Yeah, and you look at these games here. Ober's on the mound for the Twins, so give me the Ober in that game. At 7.5. I think that's just a touch too light. Man, he didn't look so good on his first start. How's that 36 ERA sporting in there, Ober? He usually does. He's one of those guys that does have the slow start, but you look at the Twins, 4-1-2 to that Over. And I know Houston, their offense hasn't been the greatest, just losing Tucker, but at 7.5, that's just too light. Give me the over 7.5 there. And then, good. It's good old Nick Pivetta for the Padres rolling here in this one today. And he looked good in his first start, but it was against the Braves, so I guess we'll see how he does today. Man, he mowed down one hitter through 7 innings. Versus the Braves in that one, but we know the Braves haven't hit a beach ball. This should be a pretty good game here between this one, but the Cubs can hit. So I'm going to take the Cubs there in that one to win another one against the Padres here in this one today. Give me the Cubs there in that one.
And the undefeated got dropped yesterday there. So Houston, the way I look at it here, I'll look at Houston in this one, plus dog here. Twins have not fared well against good bullpens over the past 2 seasons. Plus here, 10-31 when they face teams with bullpen ERAs of 3.45 or lower, losing 26 units. So, man, goodness, that's tough here. The Astros bats did wake up in the opener. Twins hitting just 161 in their 6-day games this season. Arrighetti was sharp in the opener. Astros bullpen has been good. I like Houston in that one. I'm just going to take the D-backs. I don't like what I'm seeing from Washington. The Nationals dropped 6 of 7. They're batting just 260. They're batting just 216. The bullpen's giving up 23 runs in 23 2/3 innings. D-backs are hot, hitting the baseball, hitting home runs. And when you get the Diamondbacks on the road against losing teams, the past 2+ seasons, 42-19, winning 12 units. So I'll take Arizona there. LA and Philly, give me the over. I don't like what I'm seeing from Sasaki. Kind of a little young, immature guy, having trouble. Hang on a second. There we go. Having trouble really between the ears. I think a lot has to do with it. The pressure may be overwhelming this young kid from the Dodgers, Sasaki. Of course, LA here has been dependent on the home run, but I think LA can get to the bullpen for Philadelphia, I should say. Against these good offensive teams that average 4.5 runs per game or greater, LA 42-18 to the over. That's 1+ seasons there. So I like the over in that one. All right, let's continue here on the 26 Morning Show as we continue on with baseball with our next series of games here. Let's see here. Next up, we've got Yankees and the Pirates. Now we've got the Yankees here, $1.50, total of 9.5. Orioles and Royals. Royals here, $1.13, total of 8. Cardinals and Red Sox here. Red Sox -125, total of 9. Rays and Rangers. The Rangers -170, total 7.5. Reds and Brewers here. The Brewers $1.13, total 8.5. Over to Rod.
Yeah, you look at these ones. How do you back the Pirates? I can't back the Pirates here in the spot. Not when Falter they're going. I know it's Stroman, but you see Stroman and he can have a few innings. Usually he's good for 4 or 5, and then he starts to tail off. He didn't have a good first start here to his season, but I expect a bounce back spot here against a Pirates squad that isn't doing so good. So give me the Yankees there in that matchup. And then the other one looking at here. Did you go all the way to DeGrom going, Texas?
Yes, that one's a part of the block. Yep.
Yeah, okay. Looking at that one with DeGrom going, hey, DeGrom looked real good. He's looking like mid-season form in that one. And what I seen yesterday from the Rays, didn't look so good. Looking like they can't hit a beach ball right now. So I think at a minus 180, I think that probably should be a little more priced. So I'm going to take Texas on the run line. You look, they haven't been the greatest on the run line, but this is one of those spots that I think they can easily DeGrom holds down the Rays. Texas minus on the run line in that one to beat up the Rays. And then give me the under. Canning and Bassett at 7.5. I think it's a low-scoring one there between those two. We've seen Bassett in his first start look real good. And Canning. I like Canning. I think he has a good start there for the Mets as well. Man, that's where he ended up. He went from the Angels to the Mets, did he?
That's right. I mean, culture change will do it for you. There.
Culture change, yeah. He's looking pretty good. So, yeah, give me the under, Bassett and Canning in that one.
Yeah, all right. I like the Yankees run line only if you can find plus money on it only. There, Yankees 5-1 to the run line when favored by minus 110 or higher. But if you got one of those books with high splits and you can't get the plus, don't bet it. That's how I look at that one. Yeah. Cardinals and Red Sox. I like the over in this one. Cardinals have gone over in 6 of 7. Red Sox so far this year 3-1 to the over, facing these good offenses that outscore opponents by half run or greater. The Red Sox bats did wake up at home, but the bullpen got pounded. The Cardinals bullpen got pounded as well, but they're hitting 302. That explains why that explains this over trend for this Cardinals team, like the over in that one. Also here in this KC Baltimore game, I like Baltimore in this one. Orioles hitting the ball a little better, and you got to respect the fact that the Orioles have returned 23 units to plus two plus seasons against right-handed starters on the road. I like Baltimore in that spot. And, of course, DeGrom's on the mound. I always look under. Give me the under in that one. Texas, light hitting just 195. The Rays struggled here at the plate in their first road game. Both starters were sharp in the opener, and the same can be said by their bullpens. Rangers 8-1 the under at home, facing these good bullpens with ERAs of 3.45 or lower the past 1+ seasons. And the under 13-2 behind Bradley, facing a team with an on-base percentage of 320 or lower the past 1+ seasons. So I like the under in that game. That will continue here next with the Tony Morning Show as we continue on with baseball. We'll close it out with these final 5 games. All right, the games we have are Blue Jays and Mets. We got the Mets $1.25, total 7.5. Marlins and Braves. We got the Braves 230, total 8.5. Athletics and Rockies. The homeless road favorites again, $1.16, total 9. Mariners and Giants. That was a wild one yesterday. Boy, goodness, that was wild. Giants $1.21, total 7.5. The Guardians and the Angels. Guardians have been bet up now, $1.54, total of 8. Over to Rob.
Yeah, that was a wild one yesterday, and so they come back today with a 7.5 in that total. We're seeing now we're going to see Bryce Miller get the start for Seattle. Hey, look against another guy who used to be in Seattle, now on the Giants. Good old Robbie Ray in his first start against the Reds. He got the win in that one. He went 5 innings, 4 strikeouts, gave up 3 hits, a walk, a couple earned runs, a couple home runs. Robbie Ray's good for that, giving up a couple home runs. I like Julio to get a home run off his old teammate there in that one. Julio got a home run yesterday. I think he gets back-to-back home runs. Like I said, I think if Julio continues to stay hot, then Seattle's always in it. So there's the Bryce Miller I wanted yesterday on the mound against Robbie Ray. Give me the Seattle Mariners in this one. They battled yesterday, even with the bad Castillo on the mound there for the Mariners. They definitely tried to get the win. It was close, battle back and forth, but just fell short in extras in that one. I think they get the job done there today. And then the late night one in the Angels, everybody's going to be on Bybee there in that one. So you know what? Give me the Angels just to be contrarian. They lost their home opener. Give me Kokonowitz going there with the Angels. Everybody's going to be riding Bybee and the Cleveland Guardians there in that one. And you look at it's only $1.50. I think that should be at least $1.80 at least in that one, because you look at the mismatch. It's huge. So I'm going to go contrarian there and take the Angels on the money line in that one.
Yeah, from Ron, I'll tell you what I think about these games here. I like the Mets at home again. Blue Jays bats were silent in that road game here. Both starters had good openers, but Toronto bullpens allowed 18 runs in 29 innings. This Mets bullpen has been very sharp here to start the season. ERA 1.40 in 7 games. Blue Jays at road dog have been bad the 2+ seasons, losing six units as a road dog. Yankees a really good home favorite in this price of minus 100 to 150, returning 7.5 units the past 2+ seasons. I'll look at the Mets there in that spot. Again, Colorado home dog. Listen, Colorado just couldn't. They left 13 runners on base yesterday. They were hitting ace pitching, and the A's are hitting only 225, and the bulk of their games have been in hitters' parks, so they're just not hitting. Marquez was impressed in that opener. The elect bullpen has been tagged for 23 runs in 30 innings. Athletics as road favorite of minus 110 or higher. 1-4, losing 4.5 units the past 2+ seasons. And again, Rockies returning plus 22 units as a home dog. I'll look at the Rocks in that one. I will take Seattle. Robbie Ray just has been hurt by the home run the entire season. He got hurt by the home run in the opener. And you look at Ray as a home favorite of minus 110 or higher in his career, has lost 24 units. He's not been good in that role as a home favorite. Miller here on the road, past 2+ seasons, the team record behind him, 9-5, returning 5 units. I'll look at Seattle plus in that one. And no, I'm not taking the Angels. Angels have been absolute burning money at home the past 2+ seasons. They've dropped 26 units. You've lost 26 units betting on the Angels the past 2+ seasons at home. Kokonowitz just gives up too much contact. That's the problem. He doesn't strike out anybody. You look at his career with the Angels; it's horrible. LA hitting 215. Their bullpen's been hammered, giving up 23 runs in 22 2/3 innings. The Guardians' pen has been outstanding. Angels 1-10 facing teams with a bullpen ERA of 2.70 the past 1+ seasons. So when the Angels face good bullpens, they don't deliver. I like Cleveland in that spot. All right, let's continue here on the Tony Six Morning Show as we close out as we go on to the NHL. Rod's going to do the heavy lifting in this segment on this big card for today. So we'll break it down a little bit here. So let's see what we'll do here in this first block. What we'll do is we'll cover the early matinee games, the 12:37 and the 4:07s here. We got Rangers and Devils. We got the Devils $1.27 total 5.5. Panthers and Senators. The Panthers $1.30 total 5.5. Penguins and Stars. We got the Stars $3 total 6. Ducks and Canucks. Canucks $1.75 total 5.5. Oilers and Kings. A matinee in LA. We got the Kings $1.65 total 5.5.
Yeah, and you look at these early games. I'm looking at the Rangers, big plus price there for the Rangers, eh? I think they're slim playoff hopes. They got to keep getting wins in that one. So I know the Devils have been dominant over the Rangers this season. It's not even been close, but I think got to lean to the Rangers there in that one. But I like the over. I think we see plenty of goals between these two squads. As I said, it's almost a must-win for the Rangers. So give me the over 5.5 there in that one. And then you look at Florida heading into Ottawa. Well, same thing. It's one of those must-win spots. Ottawa's got to keep winning. They're in a playoff spot and hold down a wild card spot. So they need the wins. I'll take Ottawa there in that one. Ottawa's also 7-0 in day games versus the Eastern Conference. We know Florida's all locked up in their playoff spot. So I like Ottawa there in that one. And then your Kings. I think your Kings trounced the Oilers there in that one. Home cooking's been the way to go, but the Oilers wounded club going into this one. You look at the guys that they're missing for this game. and it's a laundry list of guys that are out for the Oilers in this one. No McDavid, no Leon Draisaitl, no Ekholm, no Stuart Skinner, no Klingberg, no Frederick. It's just a mile long of guys that need to step up for the Oilers that are left in there, but they're dealing with injuries, and I think the Kings pounce again. But as I said in the video, I think the guys that are there with the Oilers, they maybe have a little bit of a fight, but I don't think so. I think you got to lead to the Kings. But in that one, give me the over. I think we still got enough firepower, even if the Kings maybe do the bulk of the heavy lifting on that one today. We get the over the total in that one.
And there from Rod. All right, we continue here on the Tony Simone Show as we continue our NHL. I'm going to do it in 3 blocks here as Rod's rolling solo. We'll cover the 707s in this one. The 707s, we got Lightning Sabres. We got the Lightning $2 here, total 6.5. Avs and Blues. The Avs $1.33, total 5.5. Flyers and Canadiens. The Canadiens $1.56, total of 6. Blue Jackets and Maple Leafs. Maple Leafs $1.90, $2, total 6.5. The Jets and the Hockey Club here. We got the Jets $1.28, total 5.5. Hurricanes and Bruins. Hurricanes $2.34, total 5.5. Rod, it's the 707s.
All these 707 games we're looking at here. The first one I'm looking at is, hey, look at the Blues. They're hot, right? Hot, hot, hot. Winners of 11 straight hockey games, rolling along. And now they're a dog. Dog at home. Don't you want a plus 110 with the St. Louis Blues? They're the hotter team. They won 11 straight games, rolling right along. Yeah, don't do it. Baiting you into the St. Louis Blues there, and that one not doing it. Give me the Colorado Avalanche there. I just no. Yeah, Colorado is the play there. Books are telling you that price is everything you need to know. It's like, there you go. You want a plus price with the hottest team in the NHL? You know you do. No, I don't. Give me Colorado in that one. And then another one I'm looking at here in this spot is I got to take a shot here with Buffalo. Well, Buffalo does this every year, man. They get eliminated from the playoffs, and then they start playing the best hockey of the year. Why? It just makes no sense. So, yeah, I'm with Power Critter there, man. We got to take a shot here with Buffalo against Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is pretty much locked in, looking for the playoffs, waiting to go. Buffalo, it's that time of year. They're playing up the string to go golfing and winning 70% of their games down the stretch. So, at this plus price, you got to take a shot with Buffalo. And then you look at the Leafs laying minus 200 against Columbus. Columbus. For some reason, I don't know why the Leafs have trouble with Columbus, but they always do. Columbus has covered the puck line heading into Toronto in 11 of the last 12 trips into Toronto. So if you want to take a shot with Columbus on the money line, I don't blame you because they've outrighted them in plenty. But I'll take the puck and a half there with Columbus in a game that the Leafs say they're probably looking forward to the playoffs as well. At least one quick note on the Leafs to say that, hey, the last time that we didn't see Detroit in the playoffs or Boston in the playoffs was 1967. The Leafs won the Stanley Cup was the last time we've seen those two teams not in the playoffs. So as a Leafs fan, hey, there's a bright spot for you. You haven't seen Detroit or Boston? At least you can't say that Boston's going to oust you in the first round this year. No excuses there for the Leafs. So put a sprinkle on the Leafs to win the East.
I guess we could explain for the Sabres situation, it's just job security. Hey, look, coach, I want to keep my job. I'm going to play hard at the end, I guess. They usually start strong and then fade massive losing streaks during the season. I've seen that with the Sabres as well.
Yeah, right? They start strong, like they're ready to go, and then they hit this slump in the middle, and they're awful. It's like, what are you guys doing? And then they hit, once they realize that they're eliminated from the playoffs, they pick up the play again.
Got to be frustrated being a Sabres fan, man. We've just been so many down seasons in a row. So many down seasons in a row there. All right, we close out.
They haven't seen anything good since we've seen Hasek, and that was many years ago, right?
Man, I just remember the odd in Buffalo, the old odd in Buffalo, man. That thing is like, they should go back to that. That old stadium. Kraken and there's nothing like those old hockey stadiums, what they looked like on television back in the day. That was nothing like it, man.
Nothing
Kraken,
like it, man.
We're going to cover the 10:07s here to close it out. Kraken and Sharks. The Kraken $1.70, total 6. Golden Knights Flames. There we got the Knights here $1.60 on the road, total 5.5. Couple of road faves in this block.
Yeah, and you look at this one. Hey, Calgary's in one of those spots that they're trying to stay relevant, to try to maybe catch a wild card. It's slim, very slim. They need the Blues to lose, so Blues could lose today. But is Calgary going to win? I don't think so. You got to look. Vegas is they're in a battle for that Pacific Division between the Oilers, the Kings, and the Knights. They're jockeying all over the place. Kings still have a good shot to get first. Oilers, man, limping down the stretch. They could end up in third. So I got to go with Vegas here. Calgary also off a home win. 0-6 off a home win. Give me Vegas on the puck line in that matchup. And then the Kraken in Seattle, or Seattle versus the Sharks. Yikes. Sharks 0-11 in their last 11 versus a Western Conference opponent. Give me the Seattle Kraken on the puck line. Might even find the -2.5 on the Seattle Kraken and take that too, because I think San Jose's a big shot. They're just taking it. You see, don't get fooled by the numbers that you see that the Sharks have played well against Seattle. You look, but then you look at the two goalies that they won when they beat Seattle earlier this year. Those two goalies aren't even on the San Jose Sharks anymore. One was Blackwood. He now plays for Colorado. And then Vitek Vanacek was the other one. He now plays for the Florida Panthers. Those were the two goalies that were in there when San Jose won the earlier meetings this year versus Seattle. So the goalies that were in there, long gone for San Jose. Seattle gets the revenge on the puck line on this one.
There we go from Rod. All right, let's now going to just a question here from our chat there. We'll address the questions at the end of our blocks, just to let everybody know there. So we don't always respond to them right away. We just want to get to the block and then get to it. Here's a question from Cody Banks. Do you guys ever notice a trend in certain money lines that just don't hit at a high clip, +120 and -120? I'll answer that one first. The endpoint I track is +125 to -125. And to me, it's all individually based on teams and, for me, starting pitching. There are certain pitchers in coin flip situations that don't come through. But top of my head, I don't know. I just kind of go by game. I go by game by game. What about you, Rod?
Yeah, I go game by game. The line that I stay far away from, if I see is, as you alluded to, your endpoint starts at -125. That I find that as the death play. I don't have the actual numbers, but I think -125 is that one they hook you into, and you lose more times than you win. That's what I've found over the years. Now, -125 price point, I stay the heck away from that. +100, it's an even. Basically, it's even. I've won on the +100s plenty of times. I'm going to tell you more times than I've won on the -125. In baseball, because that's the new. I think this is almost the new coin flip for the price of the books. Why? Because they want action on both sides. So when they make it, used to be -110, -110. You see a couple of those, but a lot of times in baseball now we see this -120 +100. I think this is the new coin flip for books now.
Yeah. I mean, it's just that the baseball betting, you're just getting robbed. The splits are so high now in baseball. You don't have the dime lines anymore. It's just, and for those of you new to betting, I mean, there was a time when if the favorite was -140 and the dog was +130. The favorites were, I've seen as high as -170 to +170. Usually the breaking point was 170. Once you got to +180, the take back on the other side was +165. But now they're breaking your back now with these spreads here. I see -120 +100. It's just disgusting, man. Absolutely disgusting.
Or -130, like Arizona, Washington, -130 +110. It's like you see that loss. The new split, or like Boston, St. Louis, it's -125. There it is. So give me St. Louis today. Let's test this out for you, Cody Banks. I'm going to take the St. Louis Cardinals here today. Because why? Because I'm looking at the Boston Red Sox, and I'm seeing a -125 in that one. So give me St. Louis in that one. I'm going to test that out. Put a little bit on fading the -125 spot.
Yep, that's right. Exactly there. All right, there from Rod. All right, we got you through our NHL sims. Thanks for the questions there from Cody Banks. You guys are always welcome to get them. Just we've had people ask us questions in the past, but when they expect us to answer them like right away. Like I said, just to clarify, we'll answer them once we finish the block. Let's get through the sport because we got a lot of people out there looking for these picks, and I just want to make sure that we get through all the picks first before we get to the answers or to the questions there. All right, let's continue here on the Tony's Good Morning Show. Now it's time for our Parlay Pro segment where our cappers give out a parlay. They can give out a team player prop, They can play straight game of the future. We lead up the cappers. Rod, we start with you.
I'm going to give you a 4-teamer today in the on the ice. We're going to go with the Ottawa Senators on the money line. We're going to take the Colorado Avalanche on the money line, take the Buffalo Sabres on the money line, and throw in the Seattle Kraken on the money line. A little 4-teamer for you today.
4-teamer there from Rod. All right, I'll give you a 3-teamer here. I like Villanova in the Crown Series. I also like Memphis here against a celebrating Detroit team that's made the playoffs. And also in the baseball, I like it here. I like the under with the Rays and the Rangers. All right, we got you through our Parlay Purpose segment. Now it's time to see what we've got going over at Tony'sPicks.com. And into a Final Four series. We got a lot of baseball, 15-game card, NBA hockey as well. We'll see what Rod's got for sale. Rod's put together an impressive year over at Tony's Picks, 2,764 units of profit. All documented, Rod. What you got for sale?
And for me over at Tony's Picks today, I got it's March, the finishing up of March Madness. So I got a Final Four 3-pack going there today. Definitely gonna be sad to see the college basketball head down the road, but been rolling along there now and hitting about 55% winners and up over about 3,500 units. So jump aboard that triple. And also in that triple is my 10-star college basketball slam dunk play of the day. That thing's like an ATM printed money. So definitely that is the best bet you want to jump on today. And then I'll have my NHL sniper play of the day going as well. We hit that one with Detroit. I just have to load it in. I just didn't get it up into a package yet, but it will be up there as soon as we're done here. I'll throw that into the package. Found one play on the ice that I absolutely love. To have a couple more for long-term subscribers because that's the way to go here at Tony's Picks. You can see the 3-day moneymaker, week-long moneymaker. Full transparency here, I've been cold. So the last week definitely been ice cold, but you know how I've been rolling. You see the year, I hit these little cold spells. You have these things. So it's one of those buy low spots on me right now because I'm telling you, my heater's about to get loaded again. So jump aboard, something long-term, and let's continue to stack the units this 2025.
Yeah, stack units with Rod over at Tony's Picks. Pretty great year for Rod for the year overall. 2,764 units of profit. So get on board with Rod. Also, the long-term subscription. Also, you can get on board with Rod. He'll cover you here, all access for you. And of course, all of our one-day passes are profit guarantee. They must earn a profit or amount purchased will be credited to your account for site credits. That's profit guarantee. So go ahead and get on board with Rod over at Tony'sPicks.com. I've got a best bet on the board for you right now from college basketball. Also coming in with a 3-pack, mixing up some college basketball and Major League Baseball for you on my 3-pack. So get on board with me over at Tony'sPicks.com. We also have a multi-capper promotion. You can match me and Rod on a 2-for-1 capper promotion over at Tony's Picks just by clicking the 2-for-1 capper tab. And so get here, you can match me up with Rod and, of course, save even more when you do that. And don't forget that promo code TonyT at checkout will knock off that 15% off. All right, guys, we're with you here Monday through Friday here at 9:30 a.m. East. I'm sorry, every day 9:30 a.m. East time with the 26 bonus show. So make sure you guys tune into that. And of course, if you ever miss a show, you can just go to our YouTube channel where we have it archived for you there on our YouTube channel. Just go to our tab where it says live, and you can always see the replay of our show. Also, our archive or other live show happy hour airs Monday through Friday here at 5 p.m. Eastern. Rod hosts. You can see Ramon and Ron, our regulars there on that happy hour. So tune into that. When you click the video tab, you'll find long-form video formats for myself, as well as many of the cappers from the show that, from our site, Tony'sPicks.com. You see Nino's always looking for those underdogs. Chris coming in with content. See Chris with those home run prop videos as well. Ben coming in with some baseball for you. I've got some NBA. And Rod's got the NHL covered for you. And they're going a little deeper dive into all these games today. So check them out there over at Tony's Picks YouTube channel. Just go to the YouTube channel, type in Tony's Picks like I did in the search bar, and go ahead and find our stuff, if you would, there at Tony'sPicks.com. And then our YouTube channel for our video content there. All right, with you here at 9:30 a.m. East time. And Rod, let them know about the YouTube channel, your live show, of course, the video content from the NHL.
Yeah, definitely. If I didn't cover an NHL game here for you on the morning show, I got you covered over on the YouTube channel. Definitely all the NHL games are locked and loaded there for you to check out. So definitely go check those out. And then Monday to Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern, definitely tune into that happy hour. We'll get you all the latest news, injury-wise, NBA, MLB pitcher-wise news, because I think as the season goes along, some of these morning shows might get a little bit tougher as we're going to see some pitchers that'll probably be TBD as we go along through the season. We know we're not going to avoid that. We're going to avoid it early and tune into the happy hour at 5 p.m. Eastern, and you'll get that latest information on goalies, NBA,
Weather,
players, weather. Yeah, because you never know that time of season. Weather can come rolling in no time in baseball. So definitely tune into the happy hour 5 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah,
definitely appreciate everybody that tunes into the happy hour. Thanks for tuning in.
That's right, guys. So make sure you like, subscribe. Just want to shout out to our Ron Hahn, a guy who runs our chat. This is his 3-team parlay for you guys there. Does great work for us at TonySpicks.com. Also part of the team, of course, Chris Atkins in the chat today. Check out his home run prop videos we talked about on the YouTube channel. This is baseball video. All right. I'll do it for this edition of the Tony S'more Show. Back again tomorrow. Rod, you have anything to say before we close it out?
Hey, have yourself a good day, everybody. Make it a winning one.
Make it a winning day, guys. Say goodbye, guys. You guys make it a winning Saturday. We're back tomorrow here on the Tony S'more Show.